I'm going to show you that allergy-friendly foods can taste as good or better than the original. I'm Dr. Ahmed, a physician who developed food allergies in adulthood, and we're going to be cooking dishes that are safe to eat and taste amazing. I've spent years perfecting this flour blend that we're going to use to make delicious allergy-friendly foods. There are a lot of gluten-free flours out there, but my goal was to make a blend that's minimally allergenic, FODMAP friendly, and most importantly, can be used to make delicious recipes that are as good as the originals. Now, this isn't necessarily a flour you're going to use every day, but it is perfect for those special treats. So let me show you how to put it together. To start with, I have a large bowl and a whisk. This recipe is going to make 3 1/4 cups of flour blend. First ingredient, 1 1/2 cups of white rice flour. Now, not all white rice flours are made the same, and it's important to get one that has a very fine texture, because if it's gritty, that's going to come through into the food, and you don't want that. Next, we're going to do 1 cup of tapioca starch, and then 1/2 cup of potato starch. The fourth ingredient is corn flour, which you can absolutely buy, but one thing a lot of people already have at home is cornmeal. So I'm going to show you how to make your own corn flour using cornmeal at home. What I like to do, because we're going to ultimately need a 1/4 cup of corn flour, is to take a heaping 1/4 cup like this, and then we're going to blend this down and sift it out. Now that we have this, we're going to sift it out. I have a tea strainer right here and a bowl that I'm going to use. And what you're left here is just the larger pieces of cornmeal that we're going to discard. We'll go ahead and repeat that until it's all done. Now that we have our corn flour, I'm going to go ahead and measure out a 1/4 cup. Now that we have all the flours together, we want to be sure to blend this up well. The nice thing is the yellow cornmeal contrasts well with the rest of the flour, so you know when everything's mixed, once it's all just a very light color and you don't see those large clumps of corn flour anymore. Now, for those with dietary restrictions, there can be a lot of fear when it comes to food, but that doesn't mean you should miss out. There's a lot of comfort in knowing exactly what goes into the foods that you're preparing. And that's what this is all about. And there we go. We're all completely blended through. It's a nice, very pale yellow color. And of course, there's one thing that is missing, the binding. Because this is a gluten-free flour, it doesn't have the gluten that acts as the elastic in baked goods and other things that you prepare. What's missing is xanthan gum. In some cases, people might use psyllium. However, I'm not adding any of that yet because the amount of xanthan gum that you use will change according to the recipe. So we'll add that at different times depending on what we're making. For those with dietary restrictions, there can be a lot of fear when it comes to food. But that doesn't mean that you should miss out. There's a lot of comfort in knowing exactly what goes into the foods that you're preparing. When you feel safe about your health, then maybe you're more willing to take some of the chances and opportunities that you couldn't before. That's exactly why I'm standing in front of you today, taking that chance so that you can be happy and healthy, because there's room for everyone at the table. There are a lot of gluten-free I should figure out how to do this a little more effectively.